everybody, welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH After show. Let's kick things off with Shiloh. Now this week we saw a lot of flashbacks involving Shiloh and Drew of course is being played by Steve Burton since he had Steve Burton's face back in the day. And it was very interesting to watch and pretty cool to see him in that role. We learned that Shiloh was scum back then, which we kind of already knew because Shiloh has always admitted to having a shady past. But what was interesting was that Drew clearly hated Shiloh back then, and he had every intention to turn Shiloh in for the crimes he was committing back then. So we know that Drew gets kidnapped by Helena and Faison at some point, but I have to wonder if maybe Shiloh did something to Drew before that. What are your guys' theories? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, now let's talk about Ms. Ava Jerome and the Crimson magazine cover, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Ava. First of all, I'm a little bit annoyed because we've been told pretty much this entire story that this magazine is going to be the September issue, and it's out now, and it's not even August yet. And I know typically with magazines, they'll release the, next month's magazine a few days before the next month, but it's not the August issue, and it's still July, so it's like, what? I swear the writers need a crash course on continuity. It's just ridiculous how often this kind of stuff happens on the show. Now, aside from that glaring mistake, Ava sees the magazine cover and the interview, and she was not impressed because they told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, And of course, at first Ava was pissed, but when she started seeing that she was getting compliments, she was kind of good with it until she saw some haters' comments, which was actually a little bit annoying because at first she was like, yeah, haters are gonna comment, whatever. And she read one that was about Kiki being, killed, and that she would be unimpressed that Ava was glamorizing her grief to get a quick buck. Now for me personally, I kind of teeter-totter with my love and hate for Ava. In this case in particular, I'm kind of team Ava. I mean, she's already taken the beating from all these people several times over, and the fact that Valentine had the nerve to go up to her and bring up Nicholas, oh, that made me so mad. Like, Ava was like, really, you're gonna bring up Nicholas to me? You killed him in front of me, you murdered him, and then he had the nerve to bring up the whole, confession that she made, that it was self-defense, and we all know that she was coerced into making that statement so that he'd let her use his surgeon to get her face fixed, which, it is a sellout, but it just, his smug face, I want to punch him! And despite the fact that this conversation was happening right in front of Nina, it seemed to go in one ear and out the other, and Nina was all on her high horse, and I loved it when Ava was like, don't look down, Nina, because it's a long way to look, and it's a long way down. I will rule the day when he finally goes down for everything. And here's the thing, I do think that they're laying the groundwork for Nicholas to be alive, so, that is one thing, but given all the shit that Valentine has done over the last few years, there's so much more for him to pay for. Now, I do believe that Jax and Hayden definitely have an angle when it comes to the Cassidines and Crimson. I feel like they might actually know that Nicholas is alive, and they're working with him to bring Valentine down. It's going to be interesting because of Nicholas and Jax's interesting history, shall we say. But, I feel like Jax could be the one to bring Valentine down, so I'm all here for them working together to make it happen. What about you guys? Do you think Jax and Hayden are working with Nicholas, or do you have a different theory? Let me know in the comments below as well. Let's quickly talk about Hayden for a second, because it seems like she is looking for a house to live in, which makes me think that perhaps the actress's stay is a bit more permanent. At least I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I actually really want her to stay because I cannot stand Finn and Anna together. They are so excruciatingly boring, and Hayden makes Finn a bit more interesting. So I'd love them to reunite and, reunite with their baby, because I'm sure the baby is somewhere. Put Anna back with Robert. I mean, he is here in Port Charles now. He is a DA. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere either. So, make it happen. They have far more chemistry than Finn and Anna do. Alright, let's quickly talk about Franco. So, Franco runs into yet another psychic. It turns out they probably couldn't convince the other one to stay around. I don't know. Seems a bit silly. But anyway, he sees a psychic, and the psychic says, whatever you do, don't take that drive. And now Franco is afraid to get into cars. I've read this theory on Soap Central that perhaps they mean Drew's flash drive, which is a unique guess, and that's actually pretty cool and would be an interesting plot twist. Plus, it does go with the writer's MO to put Franco in every single storyline in some possible way, so it wouldn't actually surprise me. It was a good theory. I forget who said it, but good theory. Alright, now let's discuss the teen scene. First of all, Jocelyn and Oscar's lock gets cut off by Cameron when he was doing community service, and of course Joss is devastated. and Cameron and Dev actually go dumpster diving to get the lock back, which, I mean, it kind of reminds me of Drew and Curtis. Are they the next ones? Who knows? It was really sweet. I actually really adore this teen scene so much. Just keep going with it. I love it. I love it. Trina is clearly very intrigued with Dev, and I feel like she'll probably figure out who he is sooner rather than later. Maybe Cameron will too, if Cameron and Dev get close as well. It'll be interesting to watch. I'm excited for that. Alright guys, now let's discuss Jonah/Wiley's first birthday. That is right, it has officially been 1 whole year since the baby swap. We've been sitting here for a year. Oh, first of all, slight problem. The show says that Jonah's death and Wiley's birth were on the same day, but we know for a fact that the baby was born, at least a day earlier. So it's a little bit frustrating. Again, writers and continuity doesn't seem to be a great concept for the show to grasp. Alright, now storyline wise, Harmony and Nelle are conversating about Jonah and Wiley in the cell, and Nelle figures out that Wiley is in fact Harmony's grandson that is in the eyes of Shiloh, who is a sex cult leader, and she seems actually pretty concerned and terrified for the baby. The first human trait in Nelle that we've seen in quite some time. I wonder if they're gonna redeem her. Oh, I hate that word, redemption. Now, before this conversation happened, Nelle actually convinced Michael to go visit her in Pentonville in honor of Jonah's death anniversary, but that was clearly a manipulation. Now it seems like she might actually want to tell Michael the truth about what's going on, but I do feel like Michael is not going to let her get a word in, and he'll storm off before she gets the truth out. So, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising at this point because they have been dragging this out forever. What do you guys think? Do you think she'll actually get the truth out? Let me know in the comments below. Those were all of the sort of highlights in the show. I mean, of course, we had Lulu dealing with the possibility of her and Dante getting a divorce, and she had more scenes with Dustin. I mean, I don't care enough about Lulu at this point to care about this story. If she gets with Dustin and divorces Dante, it is what it is. Of course, you also have Jordan looking for Stella's long-lost relative. Again, I don't care. It just seems like pointless. Unless it's Trina. That would be, I guess, cool to give her some family in the show. And then, of course, there's drama with Sunny and Carly's baby. It's not good news that they get this week, but I just feel like I can't invest in the storyline because I honestly feel like Sunny and Carly will lose that baby. So, I mean, it's not a story that they can maintain with it being a baby and the special effects they might have to use on the baby and then growing up with that storyline for years and years to come. It just doesn't seem like it'll happen. But yeah, those were the highlights this week. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys next time.